Hey guys, it's Erica. Welcome to the Child Care Director's Chair podcast. I'm so happy you are here today. I'm really excited about today's episode. I know it's one that so many directors need help with, and it's really how to have those hard, heavy conversations without making people feel horrible, including yourself. So, I feel like, let's be real, nothing strikes fear in an educator's heart like the words, "we need to talk." And often when I tell folks, hey, you want to come, come in the office for a minute, they always say, I feel like I'm going to the principal's office. And I always laugh and go, why? I've never yelled at you once. And they always go, I know, I don't know. It just is instant anxiety, right? But here's the truth. Conversations are the currency of leadership. And if you're leading a team, managing a classroom, or building a child care center culture that's strong, safe, and aligned, you're going to need to talk. And often, and sometimes, it's going to be hard. So today's episode is your permission slip to lead those tough conversations like a boss with emotional intelligence, with clarity, and without wrecking anyone's confidence and without crying in the supply closet. Because tough conversations do not need to be terrifying. I say emotional intelligent, it isn't just a buzzword. It's the foundation of strong leadership in early childhood education settings. Why? Because we work in environments full of tiny humans with big feelings and the adults who are often running on fumes. So you really have to make sure that you're in check. So start with your own self-awareness. Knowing when you're about to snap because you're overstimulated, and choosing to take a breath instead of unleashing sarcasm in the hallway. You have to self-regulate. When you are feeling frustrated, when a teacher doesn't follow curriculum, but addressing it calmly, not with an eye roll or your little side comments. Also, empathy. You want to make sure that you're recognizing that a team member who's struggling isn't being lazy. Maybe she's caring for a sick parent or going through burnout herself. And social skills. Being able to talk through disagreements without making anyone feel small or less than. And that's a big one. And then motivation. You want to make sure that you're keeping yourself inspired to lead even when the center feels chaotic, if enrollment is low, or if support feels scarce. It really matters because when you're able to do this right, it reduces drama on your team. It helps you respond instead of react. And it builds trust with families who are watching your every move at pickup and drop off. It also helps the kids feel emotionally safe because they mirror the adults around them. And you don't know what you will trigger if you come in a room hooting and hollering at a teacher. You see, when you model emotional intelligence, you're not just leading, you're teaching everyone around you how to lead as well. Now, the second thing I'd like to point out is preparing for difficult conversations so they don't blow up in the middle of circle time. Here's the thing, because those difficult conversations, they don't explode because people are bad at communicating. They explode because they aren't prepared. And in ECE, where our day is already full of diaper changes, lesson plans, toddler negotiations over glue sticks, you don't need emotional grenades going off in the middle of the day. So you want to set the stage. You want to make sure that when you're talking with someone, you do it in a private, neutral location. Never address serious issues in the hallway, in the classroom, in front of kids, in front of coworkers. Find a calm space with no interruptions. And you might need to put a note on the door and say, going into a meeting, I need 10 minutes. And then take that person aside. You also want to think about the time of day. You want to avoid Monday mornings or Friday afternoons. Mid-morning, maybe post-coffee, pre-lunch crash is really good. And lead with calm, for God's sakes. Don't go in hot. You have to be grounded. If you're still emotionally charged, you need to wait. Now, here's 5 ways you can prep yourself. Ask yourself, what behavior or pattern am I addressing? Keep it specific. If you're negative, you're too vague, you've rolled your eyes at team meetings, you've interrupted me twice this week, like you've got to be specific. And I have to say that really is a big one, because sometimes when I'm talking with some of my admin team, they'll use big, broad, general statements like, no one listens. Nope. Someone's listening. Maybe Susie isn't listening. So be real specific. Also, like, what's the impact of the behavior, right? On the kids, on the culture, on communication, morale. So keep it specific and let them know why that behavior is harmful. You also want to set, like, what's the expectation or value that it violates? Like, maybe remind them of the agreed upon standard, not your personal preference. So maybe it looks like, hey, remember at the last staff meeting, we all agreed that we weren't going to be gossiping and being negative on the floor. We all agreed on that. But yet, you did that today at circle time with the new teacher in the room. I don't feel like that's good for morale. It's not good for the kids. It's not good for you. And it's certainly not good for the new person who just joined our team. And also be prepared to be able to articulate what outcome you're hoping for. Is it change? Is it clarity? Or does that person need a reset? And then think about what support can you offer in that time. Can you coach them out of it? Do they need a mentor? Do they need more tools? Do you need to go in and observe to see what their challenge is and how you can help? So there's lots of different things. Let me give you a real example. So if a teacher is consistently skipping circle time to prep snack early, the behavior is off routine. The impact is the kids are missing literacy exposure. The expectation is daily participation in all learning activities. The outcome is re-engagement to teaching moments. And the support is reviewing time management strategies together. So that's just to give you an example. But when you're prepared, it prevents panic. So take a piece of paper. You're going to write it down before you go in hot. You're going to say the things that you need to. 1, what behavior or pattern are you addressing? 2, what's the impact of the behavior? 3, what expectation or value does it violate? 4, what outcome are you hoping for? And 5, what support can I offer? So keep those in mind. As I said, don't go in hot. So there are some things you need to know. You want to use a pause, breathe, and lead. This right here is your secret weapon. When things get heated up, whether the teacher is challenging you in a meeting or a parent storms in at 8 o'clock over nap mats, don't react. You breathe, you're going to pause, you're going to lead. You might want to pause first and then breathe. So pause, this is your power move. Instead of letting adrenaline take over, you take 2 to 3 seconds of silence. Yes, silence. It might feel weird, but that pause interrupts your fight or flight, and it regulates your nervous system, because you're going to either want to take it up a notch or you're going to want to take off, right? So this signals to others that you are thinking, not attacking, before you respond. You don't want to come off like you're attacking them. You want to just take that breath, right? A deep breath through your nose, out through your mouth. Calm your heart rate, lower your shoulders, feel your face relax. You're not just buying time, you're resetting your leadership tone. And when you do this, that 2 or 3 seconds can really help from having to have a whole nother conversation where you have to apologize for acting out of sorts, right? Once you're cool, once you're composed, once you've thought about it, now you can lead. Now you can speak with calm confidence, intentional words, and clear directions. Before, you need to stop. You're talking over me. This is getting ridiculous. You don't want to do that, right? That's what it looks like before you pause and breathe and lead. But after that, it would look maybe more like this. Let's pause. I want to make sure everyone's being heard, and that includes me. Let's revisit our norms. You're not being weak, you're being wise. Letting the moment breathe so you can own it, right? Because if everybody's talking, no one's listening anyway. And I've seen these conversations. I've seen them where a parent comes in and they're really upset and they're yelling at a teacher, they're yelling at an admin, they're yelling at the owner, right? It's really important that you take that minute, let them talk, listen, pause, think about what you want to say professionally, breathe, and then say what it is you need to say. Now, sometimes we got to give tough feedback too. How do you do that without wrecking people's confidence? Because no one wants to be the mean boss. But being a leader means giving feedback that actually helps people grow. And that takes skill. And it's a skill I've been working on for a very long time. Before the conversation, you want to check your intention. Is this about helping somebody? Or are you trying to punish them? Also, clear your frustration. If you are still annoyed, wait, shut your mouth, put a bubble in it, glue it, zip it, all the things. You have to be calm before you can go any further. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200, right? Also, know your facts. Avoid hearsay. Give clear, firsthand examples. And sometimes people don't love that because they want you to immediately take their side without talking to the other person. Never do that. Say, thank you for giving me your information, your feedback. Since this conversation involves other people, I would like the opportunity to gather all of the facts, and then I will come back to you with a plan to move forward. During that conversation, use a 4-part feedback framework. Start with care. I appreciate your work and I want to help you keep growing. Name the behavior. I noticed there were multiple transitions this week without music or visual cues. Explain the impact. The kids seemed confused and it led to some meltdowns, and that addressed stress to the team. And then collaborate on a solution. Let's walk through a transition checklist together and practice it. Always end with the belief in their potential. You've got strong instincts. With a little consistency here, you're going to shine. See, tough feedback doesn't have to feel like a takedown. It can be a setup for a breakthrough. So I hope that this was helpful and gave you some things to think about. I'm going to put together a conversation prep sheet for you that's going to help you have a plan that you're going to be able to print out. Because hard conversations aren't the enemy. Silence is. Leaders who grow their communication tools build the culture they want. Leaders who avoid tough talks end up managing chaos, drama, day after day, and burned out teams. So if you're ready to get braver, you're ready to get better and bolder with your leadership voice, follow us on Instagram at CCDC Podcast. You'll get weekly information on how to continue to be a leader. We'll give you some role play reels, some coaching tools, real talk with real strategy. So hit me up on Instagram. In the comments, write the word talk. I'll be happy to send you a free prep sheet. So my closing thoughts are this. Let's flip the script. We Need to Talk doesn't need to be scary. It can actually be a spark. It can be a chance to build trust, to reset culture, and grow the kind of team that runs with you, not from you. So lead the conversation, even when your voice shakes. Lead with kindness. Lead with clarity. And most of all, lead it without the tears. You've got this. Let me know if you're interested in getting a checklist to help you continue to grow, part of your toolbox. That's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning into the Child Care Director's Chair podcast. And remember, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.